On a tense May morning, a federal courtroom in New York transformed into the epicenter of global attention as actor Jamie Foxx took the stand to testify in a case involving Sean Diddy Combs, once considered a close friend. Foxx's testimony is believed to hold the potential to shed light on serious allegations swirling around Hollywood's entertainment industry, where questions of power dynamics and financial influence have come under scrutiny in this investigation. The tension was palpable as the world watched, eager for the truth to emerge from behind layers of secrecy and privilege. Jamie Foxx, known for his charismatic presence and award-winning performances, found himself at the center of a legal drama that could redefine the narrative of fame and fortune in the entertainment world. As he stepped into the courtroom, the weight of his words carried the gravity of a two-decade-long friendship turned adversarial. The stakes were high, not just for Diddy, but for the entire industry that had long been shrouded in rumors and whispers of misconduct. In a candid moment during a recent Netflix comedy special titled What Had Happened Was, Jamie Foxx reflected on his tumultuous journey, particularly after suffering a near-fatal stroke last year. This incident sparked a wave of conspiracy theories on social media, further complicating an already intricate web of relationships and accusations. The revelation of Foxx's alleged poisoning by Diddy sent shockwaves through the public sphere, igniting debates about accountability and justice in the entertainment business. As the trial unfolded, it became clear that Jamie Foxx was not merely testifying against a former friend, he was challenging a powerful figure whose influence extended far beyond music and into the very fabric of Hollywood. The implications of his testimony were profound, with the potential to unravel a network of corruption that had long remained hidden in plain sight. In this pivotal moment, Jamie stood as a symbol of courage, ready to confront the shadows of his past and expose the truth for the sake of those who had suffered in silence. The courtroom, filled with journalists, supporters, and curious onlookers, buzzed with anticipation. Each word spoken by Jamie Foxx was met with rapt attention, as if the fate of many hung in the balance. The atmosphere was electric, charged with the possibility of change and the hope for justice. As he began to recount the events that led to this moment, the audience leaned in closer, eager to hear the story that would challenge the status quo and force a reckoning within the entertainment industry. Jamie's voice, steady yet tinged with emotion, painted a vivid picture of a friendship that had once flourished amidst the glitz and glamour of the elite gatherings they both frequented. He spoke of nights filled with laughter and camaraderie, where secrets were traded over clinking glasses, and promises of transformation echoed in the air. Yet, beneath the surface of these extravagant soirees lay a darker reality, a world where fame came at a steep price, and the cost of silence was measured in the lives of those who dared to speak out. As he recounted the moments that shattered their bond, Jamie's tone shifted from nostalgia to a resolute determination. He described how the glittering facade of their friendship began to crack, revealing the sinister underbelly of the entertainment world. The stories he shared were not just personal, they served as a stark reminder of the pervasive issues that plagued the industry: power imbalances, exploitation, and the moral decay that often accompanied success. With every sentence, he aimed to illuminate the truth, hoping to inspire others to confront the darkness that lurked behind the curtains of fame. In this high-stakes environment, Jamie Foxx emerged not only as a witness but as a beacon of hope for victims who had long been silenced. His willingness to step forward and share his experiences was a testament to the strength required to face such monumental challenges. The courtroom became a stage for a larger narrative, one that transcended individual relationships and delved into the systemic issues that demanded urgent attention. As the proceedings continued, it was evident that Jamie's testimony would resonate far beyond the walls of the courtroom, sparking conversations that could lead to meaningful change in the entertainment landscape. The journey ahead was fraught with uncertainty, but the courage displayed by Jamie Foxx set the tone for a reckoning that many had hoped for but few dared to envision. In the early 2000s, Jamie Foxx and Sean Diddy Combs forged a bond that seemed unbreakable. They were both rising stars in their respective fields, Jamie with his electrifying performance in Ray, which earned him an Academy Award, and Diddy as a music mogul reshaping the hip-hop landscape. Their friendship blossomed in the exclusive circles of Hollywood and the music industry, where they shared not just the spotlight but also the intoxicating allure of fame. Together, they attended lavish parties, rubbing shoulders with the elite, creating memories that would linger in the annals of their careers. These gatherings were more than mere social events, they were opportunities to network, collaborate, and bask in the glow of success. However, beneath the surface of this seemingly idyllic friendship lay a complex dynamic. Jamie often found himself drawn into Diddy's world, captivated by the charisma and the opulence that surrounded him. The parties, filled with music, laughter, and the promise of endless possibilities, masked the darker reality. Jamie recalls the first time he attended one of Diddy's infamous white parties, where the atmosphere was electric, yet laced with an undercurrent of tension. It was during these nights that Jamie began to notice the subtle shifts in Diddy's demeanor, moments when the joviality gave way to something more sinister. As their friendship deepened, Jamie became increasingly aware of the power imbalance between them. Diddy's influence in the music industry was unparalleled, and this authority often translated into control over Jamie's career decisions. There were instances where Jamie felt pressured to conform to Diddy's expectations, even when they conflicted with his own artistic vision. This tension simmered beneath the surface, occasionally erupting into heated arguments or uncomfortable silences. Jamie, driven by his ambition and desire to succeed, often found himself caught in a dilemma: should he assert his independence or comply with Diddy's demands? This internal struggle culminated in a series of events that would ultimately fracture their bond. Jamie's decision to distance himself from Diddy was not made lightly. It was a painful realization that their friendship had become a double-edged sword. While Diddy offered support and opportunities, there was an undeniable sense of manipulation that began to weigh heavily on Jamie's conscience. The vibrant nights of celebration faded into memories of betrayal and disillusionment, leaving Jamie grappling with the fallout of a friendship that had once seemed unshakable. The turning point came when Jamie witnessed firsthand the darker aspects of Diddy's world. During a particularly raucous party, Jamie stumbled upon a scene that left him shaken. The atmosphere was charged with energy, but it was tainted by the presence of substances and reckless behavior. Jamie realized that the world he had entered was not just about fun and games, it was a realm where power dynamics dictated interactions, and the lines between friendship and exploitation blurred. This moment of clarity marked the beginning of Jamie's journey towards self-discovery and the painful decision to sever ties with Diddy, a choice that would reverberate throughout his life and career. The culmination of Jamie Foxx's experiences with Diddy reached a boiling point during a fateful encounter that would forever alter the trajectory of their relationship. It was during a gathering at Diddy's mansion, an event that initially promised to be another night of revelry and camaraderie. However, what transpired instead was a harrowing experience that exposed the true nature of Diddy's world. As the evening progressed, Jamie found himself in a situation that was far removed from the glamorous facade he had once admired. Surrounded by friends and acquaintances, the atmosphere quickly shifted from mirthful to menacing when Jamie observed a disturbing act of violence. He watched in horror as Diddy, emboldened by the chaos of the party, physically assaulted Cassie, his girlfriend at the time. The brutality of the act was jarring, and Jamie's heart sank as he realized the depth of the abuse that had been festering beneath the surface of their friendships. The room, once filled with laughter and music, now echoed with the sounds of pain and fear. Jamie felt a surge of anger and helplessness, knowing that he had to take a stand. In that moment, he understood that he could no longer remain complicit in a culture that normalized such behavior. After the incident, Jamie confronted Diddy, demanding answers and expressing his outrage. Diddy's response was chilling. He dismissed Jamie's concerns with a cold, dismissive attitude, implying that Jamie's loyalty was expected in exchange for the privileges he had enjoyed. This confrontation marked a pivotal moment for Jamie. He recognized that his silence had allowed the cycle of abuse to continue, and he could no longer bear the weight of that complicity. The emotional toll of witnessing such violence and feeling powerless ignited a fire within him to seek justice not just for Cassie but for all those who had suffered in silence. Driven by a newfound sense of purpose, Jamie began to document everything he had witnessed. He meticulously gathered evidence, recording conversations and capturing moments that illustrated the toxic environment surrounding Diddy. This process was arduous and fraught with fear, as Jamie was acutely aware of the risks involved in exposing such a powerful figure. The threat of retaliation loomed large, yet he pressed on, fueled by the memory of Cassie's pleading eyes and the knowledge that countless others had endured similar fates without a voice. Over the years, Jamie's resolve solidified as he connected with other survivors and advocates, forming a coalition of individuals committed to shedding light on the dark underbelly of the entertainment industry. Together, they began to strategize on how to present their case effectively, understanding that the path to justice would require more than just personal testimony. They needed to build a compelling narrative that would resonate with the public and compel authorities to take action. As the day of the trial approached, Jamie prepared himself mentally and emotionally for the daunting task ahead. The weight of the truth he was about to unveil felt heavy on his shoulders, but he was determined to honor the victims and ensure that their voices would finally be heard. In the days leading up to the trial, Jamie engaged in rigorous preparation, rehearsing his testimony and consulting with legal experts to ensure that his account would be both credible and impactful. He knew that the courtroom would be a battleground, and he was ready to fight for justice, armed with the truth and the unwavering support of those who had walked alongside him on this difficult journey. Ultimately, Jamie's decision to take the stand was not just about exposing Diddy's actions. It was about reclaiming his narrative and standing in solidarity with all those who had suffered in silence. By choosing to confront the past, he hoped to pave the way for healing and change within the entertainment industry, ensuring that future generations would not have to endure the same cycles of abuse and neglect. As he stepped into the courtroom, Jamie carried with him the hopes of many, ready to confront the demons of his past and emerge as a champion for justice. In the aftermath of Jamie Foxx's explosive testimony, the repercussions rippled through the entertainment industry like a seismic shift. The courtroom, once a place of decorum and formality, transformed into a theater of raw emotion and tension. As Jamie recounted the harrowing details of his experiences, the atmosphere thickened with disbelief and outrage. The audience, comprising journalists, fellow celebrities, and everyday citizens, listened intently, hanging on every word that spilled forth from the witness stand. The stakes were higher than ever. This was not merely a legal battle but a societal reckoning with the entrenched power dynamics that had long governed the entertainment world. Jamie's revelations struck a chord with many, especially among those who had silently endured similar experiences. The testimonies of other survivors, including Cassie, added layers of credibility to Jamie's account, painting a comprehensive picture of a culture rife with abuse and exploitation. As each story unfolded, the courtroom became a microcosm of the broader industry, reflecting the struggles of countless individuals who had been marginalized and silenced. The emotional weight of these narratives resonated deeply, prompting a collective awakening among the attendees, who began to grasp the magnitude of the issues at hand. Yet, the emotional toll on Jamie was immense. The act of reliving traumatic memories in front of a public audience was not without its scars. Each time he recalled the night of the assault, the image of Cassie's terrified face haunted him, and the physical sensations of that moment returned with startling clarity. The vulnerability of sharing such intimate details forced Jamie to confront the lingering effects of trauma, which manifested in anxiety and sleepless nights. Despite the emotional burden, he found solace in the support of his allies and the growing community of survivors who rallied around him, providing a sense of solidarity that fortified his resolve. As the trial progressed, Jamie's journey became intertwined with the broader narrative of empowerment and resilience. The courtroom transformed into a space for healing, where the voices of the silenced began to echo louder than the shadows of their past. Jamie's willingness to speak out inspired others to do the same, creating a ripple effect that extended beyond the confines of the trial. Survivors who had previously kept their stories hidden began to share their experiences, contributing to a collective movement that sought to dismantle the systems of abuse that had persisted for too long. However, the road to recovery was not without its challenges. Jamie grappled with the fear of backlash from Diddy's formidable network, aware that powerful figures would stop at nothing to protect their interests. The pressure to maintain his composure and credibility weighed heavily on him, as he navigated the delicate balance between being a victim and a warrior for justice. The emotional strain of constant vigilance and the need to remain strong in the face of adversity tested his mental fortitude. Yet, through it all, Jamie remained steadfast, drawing strength from the knowledge that he was not alone in his quest for truth. The emotional impact of the trial extended beyond Jamie and the courtroom. As news of the proceedings spread, the public's reaction intensified, with hashtags like #JusticeForVictims trending on social media platforms. The outpouring of support from fans and fellow celebrities created a groundswell of momentum, amplifying the call for accountability and reform within the entertainment industry. This collective outcry served as a reminder that the fight for justice was not solely Jamie's burden to carry, it was a shared responsibility that required the participation of many. As the trial drew to a close, Jamie's journey became a testament to the power of truth and the importance of speaking out against injustice. The emotional toll of his testimony had indeed been significant, but it was overshadowed by the sense of purpose that propelled him forward. Jamie emerged not just as a survivor but as a catalyst for change, igniting a movement that challenged the status quo and demanded a reckoning with the dark realities of the entertainment world. Through his courage and resilience, Jamie Foxx exemplified the strength of the human spirit, proving that even in the face of overwhelming odds, the pursuit of justice can prevail. As the trial progressed, the courtroom became a battleground for truth and deception, with Jamie Foxx's testimony serving as the linchpin in a complex web of legal maneuvering. The prosecution, armed with a trove of evidence amassed over nearly 2 decades, presented a compelling case against Diddy, laying bare the criminal empire that had thrived in the shadows of Hollywood's glitzy facade. The evidence included not only Jamie's first-hand accounts but also documentation of Diddy's illicit activities, ranging from human trafficking and drug smuggling to money laundering through fraudulent charities. Each piece of evidence was meticulously compiled, showcasing the lengths to which Diddy had gone to maintain his power and evade accountability. The courtroom was alive with tension as the jury absorbed the gravity of the allegations. Jamie's testimony, interspersed with emotional recounts of the abuse he witnessed and the subsequent attempts on his life, painted a vivid picture of a man who had risked everything to expose the truth. The prosecution highlighted the significance of Jamie's role in the case, emphasizing that his bravery in stepping forward had provided crucial insight into the operations of a criminal enterprise that had long operated under the radar. As the evidence mounted, it became increasingly clear that Diddy was not just a powerful figure in the music industry but a master manipulator who had orchestrated a network of corruption that spanned across multiple sectors. The defense, however, was not without its own strategies. Diddy's legal team sought to discredit Jamie's testimony, branding him as a disgruntled former friend seeking to capitalize on the sensationalism of the case. They argued that Jamie's motivations were rooted in personal vendettas rather than a genuine commitment to justice. This tactic aimed to sow doubt in the minds of the jurors, attempting to paint Jamie as a liar who had embellished his story for personal gain. Yet, despite these efforts, the weight of the evidence against Diddy was undeniable. The prosecution presented video footage from the warehouse where Jamie had been attacked, along with audio recordings of Diddy discussing the neurotoxin X poison and his plans to eliminate Jamie. These pieces of evidence, combined with the testimonies of other survivors, formed an irrefutable case that underscored the severity of Diddy's crimes. As the trial unfolded, the implications of Jamie's actions became increasingly apparent. By choosing to testify, Jamie had not only taken a stand against Diddy but had also ignited a broader conversation about the pervasive issues of power, exploitation, and accountability within the entertainment industry. His willingness to confront the truth had sparked a movement, inspiring others to come forward and share their stories. The courtroom became a symbol of hope for victims of abuse, signaling that the tide was shifting and that the culture of silence surrounding such atrocities could no longer be tolerated. Moreover, the case against Diddy revealed the extent to which his influence had permeated various sectors of society. The prosecution highlighted connections between Diddy's criminal activities and corrupt officials who had been complicit in shielding him from legal repercussions. These revelations underscored the systemic failures that had allowed Diddy to operate with impunity for so long. The legal battle thus transcended the individual case, becoming a rallying cry for reform within the entertainment industry and beyond. Jamie's testimony served as a clarion call for transparency and accountability, urging stakeholders to reckon with the uncomfortable truths that had long been swept under the rug. As the trial neared its conclusion, the stakes were higher than ever. the jury was tasked with the monumental responsibility of delivering a verdict that would not only determine Diddy's fate but also send a message to the wider community about the consequences of unchecked power and abuse. Jamie's journey had come full circle, transforming from a man who had once reveled in the trappings of fame to a courageous advocate for justice. The courtroom was filled with a palpable sense of anticipation as the final arguments were delivered, with the outcome poised to shape the future of the entertainment industry and the lives of those affected by Diddy's actions. In this pivotal moment, Jamie Foxx stood as a beacon of hope, embodying the resilience of the human spirit and the enduring pursuit of truth in the face of adversity.